Good to go. Good afternoon. Welcome to the second session of day one here at the Cycling New Zealand Track National Championships. We're here at the Grassroots Trust Velodrome. We have in the commentary booth today me, Cullen Brown, and we have Nick Blinko, who is our current reigning kilo champion and para cyclist. How are we doing, Nick?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, doing really well. Excited to have some racing here, and it's in these tough times, it's so cool to be able to put this on.
Yeah, so no spectators here today and strict COVID protocols, so 3 sessions across each day. Age groups restricted to each session that they've been allocated to. This morning, exciting racing across the under 15, under 17s. We had the IPs, we had some 500 metre TTs and some exciting elimination races as well. So good to get the week of racing underway with those. Today, well, we've just got a quick session this afternoon at the 3 p.m. So starting off with the elite woman 500 metre TT, followed quickly by the under 19 woman 500 metre TT, and finishing up with a women's scratch race 10,000 metre straight finals for all of them. So it should be good. Nick, which one are you looking forward to the most?
I'm definitely looking forward to the women's 500 metre time trials. I think with, who we have out there today with Rebecca Petch and Olivia King could put down some great times and really challenge for that national title.
Yeah, Rebecca Petch obviously taking her 14th national title in BMX on Sunday. Super impressive stuff. How do you think those skills from BMX translate across to the track here?
The 500 metre is very much an explosive event, so being able to use that BMX explosiveness out of the gates will be key for this 500 and really set her up well for a great time.
Yeah, it should be good. Good luck to all of our women in those 500 metre TTs today. Do we have any favourites for the elite women's scratch race?
I think it'll be an exciting race. You can't really go past, I guess, Holly Edmonston and Bryony Botha. Both went to Tokyo, but I'm quite excited to also see Nicole Murray. She's one of my para cyclists that I train with regularly, so it'll be exciting to see her mix it up with the elite women's in the scratch race.
Absolutely. You know Nicole well, obviously. Do you think she's one to kind of wait in for the end, or do you think she'll be aggressive and go early?
I think she's a very strong rider, so I think, for her it'll be able to go out early and try and hold on or stretch this race out. I think similar to myself, I've got a paralysed arm and she, is missing a hand. It's hard for those accelerations sometimes, so just trying to hold on and be strong, I think will be her best bet.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing how she goes. Obviously, got a bit of a mix in this race. We've got some of the development women as well as some of our riders from Tokyo. So it's going to be interesting to see who's putting the pressure on who. Also, a few riders with some points to prove coming back from certain things. So be very interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty exciting nationals with Tokyo just been and gone and the Commonwealth Games and World Champs coming up. It's a great opportunity for some young riders to really prove themselves at the elite level.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Just a quick thank you to Sky Sport and the team from SBI Productions for allowing us to get this coverage up and running. Also, a quick thank you to some of our sponsors for this event. We're presented to you today, supported by Skoda, Amber Garden Centre and the Lavender Acre Farm with funding also from the Trillion Trust, so thank you everybody. Also, just like to thank our performance partners as well. So we have Southern Spars, Cask Helmets, Lacole, Vittoria and Digirit, all supplying Cycling NZ with performance apparel and equipment. So we're just watching the officials doing some final checks on the track before we kick into our first event. As you can see, start gate is out for our first rider, who will be Bella Uville. That will be coming up soon. Sweet. So we're here at the Track National Championships, starting with the elite women's 500 metre TT. First up, we have Bella Uville of Wellington. She is going to be going solo before we get into the two riders at once format. So you can see just the officials sorting out the start gate here. Just making a few minor adjustments, making sure that that seat post holder is in place.
Yeah, it's kind of a fine art too, putting the bike in the gate. You don't want it to be moving. It's such an integral part of the 500 as the start, so getting that right is so important.
Yep, obviously a game of split seconds a lot of the time. That launch is so important. How do you find launching out of the gate? Obviously a bit different for you guys.
Yeah, for me, it's always been a struggle, always a work on, and there's just hours and hours of starts, and you just can't get enough to get that right.
Sweet. Okay, we'll cut away now. 15 seconds to go. And Bella off to a good start. Really just dragging that gear over, easing into it. Here we go.
Yeah, you'll find there's two types of 500 metre, specialists, those that get out fast and try and hold on, and then there's some who will try and wind that big gear up.
First lap done, 23.184. Bella here setting the benchmark. How's she going to go?
This is where you try and stay as smooth as possible. It seems a bit strange when you're not a bike rider, trying to just stay as smooth as possible, but that's often the fastest way through to the finish.
And Bella finishing in a 40.397.
It's great to see the Wellington sprint team. They've got, I hear, a great sprint program down there, pretty close-knit team.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, some really strong under-19 sprinters coming out of Wellington. Looking forward to seeing them racing coming up soon, I believe. Sweet. So just looking at our next round of riders here. So we're looking at Rosita Hendry of Auckland on the front straight, and Prudence Fowler of Waikato Bay of Plenty on the back straight.
So you'll see there's kind of two setups there. One's on a sprint bars, and then you've got over the back straight on those aero bars. So it's kind of interesting to see the two different setups in this 500 metres.
Will be interesting to see which setup trumps the other in this race. 25 seconds to go. Nice clean launch from both riders there, both looking to get away smoothly. Really winding into it now. Slight advantage for Prue there.
And now you see Prudence get onto those aero bars. I guess that aero position will help in that second lap just to bring that home.
Yeah, she's away really well. 1 second advantage. Here we go, half a lap to go. And Prue coming home in a 37.6, followed shortly by Rosita in a 39.8.
Now there's a very, very solid ride from Prudence. I believe it's her first year in the elites, so, you know, again, one of those young up-and-coming riders wanting to really showcase at these elites.
Exactly, setting a good benchmark for some of our HP riders to come as well, so it'll be interesting to see how that time holds up. looking forward to some of our HP riders. Do you think they'll be riding sprint bars, or are you looking to see some aero bars in there as well?
I think we'll find a mixture. I think it really suits each rider. What they're kind of looking to do is whether they're more of an endurance rider. Sometimes you'll see them on those aero bars. They feel more comfortable, whereas often the sprinters will be on the drop bars, being able to launch that first lap a little bit faster. So it'll be interesting to see how it translates as we go on.
Absolutely. So just seeing the bikes getting set up at the moment. So what you're seeing here is Emily Sherman of West Coast North Island on the back straight. Looking back to the front straight, we have Guillotine Venter of Southland. Both riders opting for the aero bars on this one.
Yeah, it's good to see Emily Sherman out there. She'll have a pretty busy, I think, couple of days back in working through this program. She's also lining up in the scratch race a little bit later as well, which she'll have a good shot at as well.
Absolutely. 12 seconds to go. Nice clean start from both riders. Really winding into it now, coming into half a lap.
Yeah, it's looking like Emily's riding slightly bigger gear, so she's starting to wind that up, and she'll want to come into the second lap and really put on that pace.
Yeah, there she is, you can see, is just getting on top of that gear now. Really starting to fly. It's going to be tight here. Emily slightly up by about 0.5 of a second. Ooh, slight variation there. Comes through in a 36.4. And Guillotine also through in a 37.172. Good rides there for first and second position so far.
No, that's a great time from Emily, and especially, being more of an endurance rider, but it's great to see her go out and set a really quick 500 metres.
You're really muscling that big gear for the first lap there, and then really kind of getting into it for her second lap. Good to see. Coming into our fourth round here, we're looking at Olivia King on the front straight of Waikato Bay Plenty. On the back straight, we're looking at Nicole Marshall of Southland. Going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I think Olivia, will want to set a really fast time. She was podium last year, third, so it's a great opportunity for her to have a look at winning this national title.
Fifteen seconds to go. King really getting that right out of the start, away quickly, getting into that rhythm on top of the gear.
Yeah, it was a really straight, strong start, and Olivia will want to deliver a start lap well under 20 seconds.
Here we go, let's see how she goes. 18.9, that's fast. About 1 second up on her rival, Nicole.
So you see Olivia, on those sprint bars, but so low in aero and so strong. Great time, 34.591. That's a great time to set. Pretty strong benchmark with the last two to come up.
Nicole Marshall just behind in 36.4 as well. Sorry, having some issues with that with the results board. It's looking tight for that second position though. We have both Emily Sherman and Nicole Marshall with a 36.4, so going to be tight. Looks like Nicole Marshall has gone into second spot officially.
So the last two up, we've got Rebecca Petch here, who will want to set in a very, very fast opening lap. So I'm quite interested to see how she comes out of the gates here.
What kind of gear size do you think she'll be running, Nick? Do you think bigger gear and she's going to look to get on top of it, or is she going to get away fast and hang on to it towards the end?
I think it'll probably be not quite as big as, say, Olivia. Being that BMX background, has that high cadence, that explosiveness. So I'd say, probably not riding as big a gears as some of these others.
Awesome. Thanks for the insight, Nick. 20 seconds remaining. And sorry, we also have Samantha Donnelly on the back straight for Canterbury. 10 seconds remaining. Pitch away well. Looks like Donnelly is on a slightly bigger gear. Pitch really building quickly now.
A very quick opening half lap.
Settled in, really rolling it over. 19.2 first lap.
That's very, very explosive. Hopefully she can hold on to that. Rebecca, probably not as aero as Olivia, but she's holding on pretty well.
Yep, she's struck out really hard and quick. Let's see how she finishes. 34.560. So that's fast. Just for some perspective, the current 500 metre national record is Sian Fulton in a 34.025. So you're looking at 0.5 of a second off the national record there for Rebecca Petch.
Yeah, it was a great ride by Rebecca, as that explosive start that we kind of talked about. And she held on really, really well. So, being able to set it up so well and hold on for someone who concentrates on that BMX and probably not as aero as some of these other riders, but pretty impressive ride, especially backing up from last week.
So just seeing the first under-19 woman rider up. This is Ella Buffrey from Waikato Bay Plenty. .30 seconds remaining. Here we go. The Track National Championships, under-19 women 500 metre time trials underway in 20 seconds with Ella Buffrey of Waikato Bay Plenty. Slight shaky start, but she's getting over that gear now.
Yeah, sometimes that timing gate, the timing out of the gate can be very difficult. But she's away and racing and putting down that speed at the moment.
Especially at a pinnacle event like this. No margin for getting it wrong.
And sometimes it is just milliseconds between getting it right and getting it wrong. So we got Ella here, winding it up, half a lap to go.
Bringing it home strong, digging it in, head down, lunge for the line. Comes home in a 41.247. Awesome benchmark set there by Ella. Congratulations. As you can see, we're back to riders on both sides of the track now. We're looking at Molly Hayes on the front straight of Waikato Bay of Plenty and Madison Lowry of Canterbury on the back straight.
You'll see that they have 50 seconds to once the bike's placed and ready to go. So whether the rider's ready or not, they let that 50 seconds clock click down.
I imagine that 50 seconds runs out very quickly as well.
Yeah, it's getting into that zone. It's probably, get to that 15 seconds to go, you'll hear a beat, and then another one at 10, and then it winds down from 5. So that's where you get in your zone, get your rhythm straight out the gate.
And we're into the countdown. Both riders away well. Looks like Molly Hayes, away slightly quicker. Let's see how they're going halfway into the lap.
You see they're both riding those aero bars, so they'll be straight onto the bars, trying to wind it up quite quickly, getting as aero as possible. 1 lap to go.
Molly Hayes with slight advantage. There we go, half a lap to go. Really winding it up now. Hold on. So Molly Hayes home in a 38.771, quickly followed by Madison Lowry in a 39.6.
Yeah, you see a couple of these athletes do a lot of events over the weekend. Those, sometimes on those aero bars might be starters for team pursuits and trying to, put down quick times on that side of things just to, show what they can do in their development.
Let's see how those times hold up with the riders that are coming up now. We have B. Townsend from Auckland on the front straight and Samantha Walker on the back straight from Canterbury.
As you'll see, it's not much time between each race. That 50 seconds pretty much clocks straight on again. These athletes are off. You'll see athletes still rolling around after the last race, and the clock's on and away they go again.
Pushing the riders through well here. .20 seconds remaining.
You can see all the energy go into that start. Those first 3 or 4 pedal strokes is so important, especially in a 500 metres. You'll see them out of their saddle, really winding it up. Those on aero bars will sit and pretty much jump straight onto those bars as these two have, and trying to get as aero as possible. Very quick opening lap.
So close, only 100 separating them currently. Close again, only 0.1 of a second separating them still.
This is going to come down to the wire.
Samantha Walker bringing it home in a 38.6, quickly followed by Townsend in a 38.9. Awesome to see such tight racing.
Yeah, you see those speeds that they get up to, 46.6 kilometres an hour. And sometimes when they, people watching at home, it doesn't look that quick, but some of the Gs that are forced onto you coming around those bends, it's quite hard to hold that bike straight, hold that bike down. And at those speeds, they're probably getting well over 55k an hour with an average speed of 46. So, doesn't look like it's too quick at home, but it is very hard to handle those bikes.
Impressive stuff. Looking now at Pearl Harris Blaine of Southland on the front straight. On the back straight, we have Shauna Gray of Waikato Bay of Plenty. Awesome to see such strong representation from down south up here. Roughly half of the field coming up from either Canterbury or Southland. Both riders settled in, 20 seconds to go. Few last deep breaths here. Both riders away well, really driving it into the first half a lap. Shauna Gray, an accomplished track, road, cyclocross and mountain biker, really digging in here. Looks like she's got a fight on her hands though. Slightly up by 0.5 of a second there.
See the cadence from Sienna there. She's just really bringing it home, being a road rider as well. Be well versed to being able to use that great cadence.
Shauna home in a 37 flat there, 38.371 for Pearl as well. Both great times. Good enough for first and second so far. Those are our times to beat with 4 riders remaining.
Yeah, Sienna will be one of those riders that will almost compete in every event. So she'll have a big program, and I'm sure she'll bring home some medals over the next few days. You see the bike setups there. You'll see in these 500s, most will be running a front disc and a back disc. They are a little bit harder to control, but for once you get them up and going, they are so much quicker than your spoke wheels that you often see out there on the road.
Both riders away well. We have Kiara Kelly from Southland coming off the front straight and Jessica Schuler coming off the back straight from Waikato Bay of Plenty. Here we go. Tight at halfway through the first lap, sorry. At 250 metres, not much separating there, about 200ths of a second.
So yeah, it'll be all who can bring this home, who can stay smooth.
Jessica really driving it home here.
Yeah, you can see how smooth Jessica was, and she really held on to that right in that last half lap. And that's sometimes where you can win things and you can lose things.
Sweet, so good enough for second and third there. Jessica only 0.4 of a second behind Shauna Gray there. Strong ride from Shauna. Let's see how it holds up with one heat remaining in this 500 metre time trial final.
So I believe we have up next Amelia Sykes, last year's champion. So she'll want to really, push towards that record possibly and set that great time, especially with world champs and things coming up. Want to really put down a fast time and show she should be pushing towards that HP program.
Yeah, Amelia Sykes, notoriously fast. Going to be an interesting battle here between her and Gemma. Amelia away quickly here, but it's not, it's close. Actually looks like Gemma up half a lap in.
Yeah, you see Amelia get onto those aero bars, so she'll be wanting to bring it home really strongly.
She's tucked in there, holding it down nicely on the black.
You can see she's really pulled it back, half a lap to go, and it's really close. Yeah, 35.84, that was a blistering last half lap to bring that back.
That is fast. For context, the 500 metre national record held by Elise Andrews is 34.9, so she's 0.9 of a second off the national record there, so that's really fast from Amelia Sykes. Good enough to knock out Shauna Gray out of that first place medal.
That kind of brings us to the end of those 500 metre time trials, and it was fast and furious, and Amelia, with a blistering last lap and getting on those aero bars, she was really able to bring that home. I guess when it comes to records and conditions, often the conditions can be fast or slow, and it's quite interesting. Today's, a reasonable day, so it's probably on better conditions would push pretty close to that Elise Andrews record.
Always interesting to see, especially when you're playing with fractions of a second.
Yeah, it is always, as a cyclist, you do look at conditions and whether it's going to be fast track or slow track, and you kind of have a little bit of an idea. Our coaches and sports scientists have a great idea of what is a fast track and how times are going to go and what gearing is needed in different conditions. So, that comes into play a lot in that mental side of things, is what is other athletes and what are your other riders, what gears are they riding, and how fast is that track. So you do kind of check on those conditions when you arrive at a track and see what gear you're going to ride.
Yeah, it's amazing, the technical aspect of the sport. The coaches will do all they can to get you tuned up, but at the end of the day, sometimes it comes down to equipment as well. It's interesting to see some of our HP women out there on the Southern Spars wheels.
Yeah, those Southern Spars are just so fast. I've had the privilege to ride on them a couple of times, and as you say, when you're dealing in fractions of seconds, having that equipment and ability to go that much quicker can be the difference between winning and losing and breaking records and that side of things.
So just getting set now for the awards presentations for those two races that have just completed, the Women's Elite and Women's Under 19 500 metre time trials. So stand by for that. So just while we're waiting for the medal presentations, I thought I'd take the opportunity to have a quick chat to Nick about what he's got coming up this week. Obviously you'll be racing. Looking forward to putting down some solid performances, I'm sure. What's up first for you?
Yeah, so looking forward to getting back and doing some racing. We kind of have reinvented myself a little bit and pushing out to, riding those 4,000 metre IP, so that comes up tomorrow. I've had a kind of short build up and made that decision, end of last year to focus, not just be a sprint focused athlete, and kilo is also look at that 4,000 metres IP, especially for para cycling and para worlds. It's all about collecting points to try and get to Paris and qualify New Zealand athletes there. So my focus has kind of been, hey, at World Champs, can I collect as many points as I possibly can and be a better athlete for that.
Absolutely. How's that transition looked for you? How's your training kind of changed over the past year?
Yeah, so it's over the last 3 or 4 months, gone from mainly that power focused in the gym and short, sharp sprints to really those longer rides and building that aerobic focus. Being a sprinter, you do often like just those short, sharp things, but I'm quite enjoying doing those longer efforts, those longer rides, and doing a lot of the group rides that we have at the velodrome throughout the week as well.
So you're mixing in some road rides as well for that endurance aspect?
Yeah, so I've been enjoying those longer rides. It sounds strange being a sprinter, but yeah, being able to build that aerobic focus and being able to recover quicker when we've brought it back in the last month or so, back into the track, doing some IP efforts, those shorter efforts, being able to recover quickly and go again, compared to that sprint focus where it's, all out for, 30 seconds to 1 minute, is stretching that out a little bit more. It's going to take time, so we know that. We've got a longer plan to spend the next 6 months really transforming from a sprinter to a sub-enduro athlete as well.
Absolutely, bit of a combined athlete there.
Yeah.
Drawing some inspiration from Nick Kyrgyzszu, no doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharing your namesake.
Yeah, definitely. That has at the back of your mind. I'm still going to ride the kilo and try and be a kilo specialist, but if I can be a better 4,000 metre rider, it's going to translate pretty well to that kilo. So, there's two, as you kind of see with the 500 metres today, there's two types of riders, those that kind of start fast or those that kind of bring it home fast. And so that's where we're looking with the kilo, is it'll probably be the latter with that 4,000 metre focus to be able to bring it home over those last 2 laps.
Yep. So kind of build into it slowly and really come home strong.
Yeah, so that's where I'm riding the kilo on Thursday night. It'll be a quick turnaround tomorrow, 4,000 metres, and then a couple hours later the final. So it's back into unknown territory really for me. But yeah, and then focus on that kilo. And then we'll see what the year brings, whether there's any overseas competitions going forward.
So when you're out there in a night, have you ridden many IPs recently?
Not recently. No, the last IP was actually 2 years ago at the World Champs, and that hurt a lot being a sprinter. So yeah, we'll see how we go tomorrow night.
Awesome. Good luck, Nick. Thank you.
No,
Just
cheers.
looking down to the infield now where we have the 500 metre TT medal presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the awards for the 2022 Track National Championships Elite Women's 500 metre time trial will now take place. The medals will be presented by Erin Criglington, President of Cycling New Zealand Road and Track. In third place and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Southland, Nicole Marshall. In second place and the winner of the silver medal, representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Olivia King. In first place, the winner of the gold medal and the recipient of a national jersey, your 2022 Elite Women's 500 metre time trial national champion, representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Rebecca Petch. Rebecca will also receive a New Zealand native plant kindly donated from the Amber Garden Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2022 Track National Championships. The award ceremony for the 2022 Track National Championships Under-19 Women's 500-metre time trial will now take place. The medals will once again be presented by Erin Criglington, President of Cycling New Zealand Road and Track. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Gemma Caudle. In second place, and the winner of the silver medal, representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Shauna Gray. And in first place, the winner of the gold medal and the recipient of a national jersey, your 2022 Under-19 Women's 500-metre time trial national champion, representing Canterbury, Amelia Sykes. Amelia will also receive a New Zealand native plant kindly donated by the Amber Garden Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2022 Track National Championships.
Congratulations to all our medal winners. Looking forward, we have the elite women's scratch race, 10,000 metres. It's a longer race, Nick, 40 laps, I believe. Going to be a bit tactical. Do you expect to see some riders going early?
Yeah, it's a great race, the scratch race is. Kind of stop-start. There's often a lot of tactics into that. You'll find there's two types of athletes. There will be, again, those that will be sitting, waiting to the last couple of laps so they can use their sprint. And then there'll be those that know that they don't have that sprint, that need to lead it out long, try and take a lap. So that is to lap the field, and that puts you in a great position to try and win the race.
Yeah, really looking to put pressure under those riders that are happier to sit in and sprint at the end.
Yeah, it's trying to take it out of the legs of those sprinters. So I'm one of those sprinters who likes to sit in and let it unfold and try and sprint towards that end and hope it's not too fast, or try and slow it down where I can. And then you've got those that will, again, try and attack any chance they get.
So it looks like a 12-rider field here. Good turnout for the women's. Just big enough that some riders will definitely be able to hide in there.
Yeah, especially being a smaller bunch, sometimes it's harder to get away and take that lap. Those that need to watch those that are dangerous and might be able to go long, might be able to watch them a little bit easier, or go around and close down those gaps a little bit easier than a bigger field.
Really looking forward to this one. Good luck to all our women. Sweet. So looking at our elite women's scratch race final 10,000 metre, up on the rail we have Holly Edmonston of Mid-South Canterbury, Bryony Botha of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Samantha Donnelly of Canterbury, Erin Downey of Canterbury, Ella Wiley of Auckland, Prue Fowler of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Penny Pawson of Auckland, Emma Cumming of Southland, Emily Sherman of West Coast North Island, Anna Wilkinson of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Joanne Miller of Waikato Bay of Plenty, and Rosita Hendry of Auckland, and one rider down on the blue, which is our para rider Nicole Murray. Good luck, all riders. So, all away cleanly.
So you see the first lap, they'll all come together, and then they'll hear the gun and away we go. So it's first over the line. It's a simple race, the scratch race. Ride as fast as you can and be the fastest over the line. First over the line.
So just coming around for the gun now, I believe. And they are off. 40 laps remaining. It's going to be a good one. All looking content just to sit. Do we have any favourites for this one, Nick? Who are we thinking?
I think you've got Holly Edmonston and Bryony Botha, very, very strong riders, part of that high performance program. And then, you've got Emma Cumming as well. So, she's very much a sprinter, so it could play into her hands.
Absolutely. Emma's a little bit of an unknown, obviously still coming back from some pretty hard injuries. Point to prove, I think, so definitely be a rider to watch.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing Emma out there, and she's just enjoying riding her bike at the moment, and this includes these national champs.
Holly Edmonston as well, who you can see in the green arms. Very strong performance at time trial nationals, looking to see if she goes long or if she saves herself for a sprint.
Yeah, Holly's very much a very good all-round rider, so she could go long with any breaks or does have that sprint at the end. But the scratch race is something that anything can happen. We can have surprises as well, so that's why it's being there at the end, positioning yourself right with a couple of laps to go, and then it can be anyone's race.
Lots of riders happy to just swing up once they hit the front, not trying to expend too much energy. Holly Edmonston just swings up, followed by Anna Wilkinson.
Yeah, the pace isn't too fast at the moment. Everyone kind of settling in, taking a turn. You'll kind of see when the pace picks up, it'll kind of string out a little bit more. But at the moment, it's kind of bunching up a little bit, and everyone's happy just to take a small half turn.
Everybody asking just light questions of each other. Nobody really wanting to push the ticket this early on.
So usually the first 10 laps is just feeling out everyone. There'll be a couple of riders will take some bigger turns and just try and stretch the field a little bit, see where everyone's legs are at, and then swing off, just save a little bit more energy. You'll see some swing up quite high. That's so they can have a good look at the track and see what's happening below, and then they can attack if there is any breaks that go.
Exactly, just feeling out the structure of the group, seeing who's doing what, who's positioning themselves where, just really scanning, keeping an eye on proceedings. Whilst we're off to a little bit of a quiet start here, watch for a really exciting fast finish. This means that there's a lot of riders here that fancy themselves towards the pointy end.
You'll see at this stage as well, some riders will swing off behind another rider. It means they're they're trying to follow someone, or maybe they are one of those sprinters that want to sit in as long as possible, don't want any of that wind, so we'll try and save their legs as long as possible.
Just crossed under 10 laps into this race, looking at 29 remaining.
You'll see there's a little bit of an acceleration there, and a little bit of a string out, but now they've all kind of bunched up, come back together. You might see in the next lap or two, someone else will have a go again and try and stretch out this race.
Here we go, a little effort here from Bryony. Willing to test people out a little bit. Got 3 riders following. Slight little gap opening up. Emily Sherman willing to put in some work to close that down. Bryony not content with that, is going again. Here we go. Slight gap opening up over Wiley.
It's really those accelerations and that off and on interval kind of training that really strings out this race and just tests those legs and sees who is the fittest.
As we mentioned earlier, here comes Emma Cummings shutting this down to Bryony. Obviously legs are feeling good today.
Yeah, that's awesome to see Emma, but you'll see Emma will just try and sit in. Again, she knows she's got the sprint legs, so be happy to close that down and then just sit in, bring it back together.
Just catching a lapped rider here. Canterbury rider making a little dig up the inside, just wanting to string it back out again. Not letting the sprinters at the back have too much of an easy ride here.
So you can see those accelerations now really splitting up the field, and you can see those stronger riders start coming to the front. You see the back come together, and then I'm sure someone else will have another attack and another dig just to string it out again.
Ella Wiley just leading us round high on the track, keeping an eye on what's going on around her. Bryony takes it down to the black, but not asking too many questions of the ladies around her. .22 laps remaining, nearing halfway into this 10-kilometre scratch race. Ella Wiley just leading them through.
Yeah, here we go. Here's another little dig, try and string out that field. Really want someone to go with her. You see those that don't want to take a turn, don't want to close it down. But again, I think it's Bryony who's happy to close that gap down, and she'll probably push on here.
Sammy doesn't look like she expended too much energy with that attack, just looking to see who was going to close it down. Good tactical move, just seeing who's doing what. Bryony clearly feeling good, willing to really drive that to close it down. Bunch starting to come together again.
It's great to see Nicole, you know, working her way back onto the back. She's such a strong rider. Just needs to try and go with these accelerations.
Dig around the outside from Holly Edmonston here. Really driving it on. Ella Wiley just stuck in no man's land there. Looks like she's slowly going backwards. Yep, gap's established. This could be dangerous. We know that Holly's a strong time trialist. Somebody needs to make a move to shut this down now. 15 laps, 16 laps to go. Ideally, we'd definitely want another rider.
Yeah, see Bryony and Emma coming across. I think these three, you know, seem like the strongest of this part of the race, so hopefully they can kick on and try and really stretch this out.
Yeah, this could be dangerous here. Let's see how they go.
I think Emma will want to just sit in. She probably won't want to do too much work because she'll want to be there at the sprint at the end.
Here we go, two of our high performance riders off the front now, Bryony Botha and Holly Edmonston. Emma Cumming just slowly dropped from that group, unfortunately. Let's see how these two kick on. Ella Wiley chasing hard with her Auckland teammate, Penny Pawson. Fall close on her wheel. Group of 5 behind, look like they're going backwards. This could be the race here.
Yeah, those quick accelerations has just spread all the athletes all over the track. So it's just trying to regroup, get that oxygen back in, and find that second wind.
So a group of 4 off the front, followed by 4 behind. A few riders scattered around the track. These are our 2 defined groups. As long as this front group carries on working well, this will be the race. Coming through for 10 laps to go, led by Bryony Botha, Holly Edmondson, Ella Wiley and Penny Pawson, 4th wheel there.
I think these 4 want to keep the pace on. I think they don't want it to come back together and be a sprint.
Yep, all riders that are strong endurance riders probably don't want this to come down to a sprint, so happy to drive on now.
Yeah, we're inside 10 laps to go. You know, they're chasing bunches, trying to close down that gap, but I think that the legs aren't quite there, so I think it's going to be between these 4, see who has those legs at the end.
It's going to be interesting now, coming into 8 laps to go. Interesting to see if they're all happy to wait for the last lap or if somebody's going to try and send one early. This is your race, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in 7 to go, 4 out the front, group behind, just a bit dysfunctional, kind of a bit of a scattered group there. Nobody's really willing to take it up.
So this lead bunch has almost got a half a lap lead at the moment with 6 to go. If they keep this pace up, I think it'll be an interesting sprint at the end.
Definitely some cat and mouse tactics. Little look across from from Bryony there. She's aware of what's going on, just taking stock of the riders around her.
It'll be interesting this last 5 laps because it comes down to a little bit of cat and mouse with a couple laps to go. So if this chase bunch keeps on the pressure, it could make it interesting.
Exactly, half a lap's a lot, but there's some powerful riders in there. Emily Sherman, Sammy Donnelly, one of the Waikato riders in there as well. Look like they've just ridden away from that back group. Not willing to give up the ghost just yet. Starting to see a little bit of dysfunction in this front group. Ella Wiley taking it up now. Holly Edmonston on her wheel. Bryony's not letting that go either. Auckland rider getting gapped. That is Penny Pawson. Can you bring it back?
This will be exciting, 2 laps to go. They'll start looking at each other, see who has the best sprint legs. They'll kind of know who has that speed from, they're always training together, so lap and a half to go.
There you go, hear the bell. Bryony willing to lead it out. Holly on her wheel. Ella in 3rd wheel. These are our medalists right here. Who's it going to be? Bryony leading hard. Holly coming around the outside. Can she hold on? Lunge to the line. Bryony takes it over Holly Edmonston, followed by Ella Wiley. Those are your 3 medalists for the Women's Elite 10,000 metre scratch race today. Congratulations all.
That was such a great race. You know, those 4 just put that pressure on with about 10, 12 laps to go. And then a little bit of cat and mouse with 2 laps to go, but I think Bryony knew that she had the legs, she had that strength and just took it long.
Yep, we saw it coming, eased into the race. People just kind of looking at each other, feeling each other out, and then really wound it up there towards the end, asking the questions. And in the end, did it easily. Credit where credit's due though. Strong finish from Emily Sherman, not willing to give it up right till the end. our riders just taking a few laps on the apron just to ease out of that effort, try and kind of let the legs recover a little bit. Got a lot of racing coming up over the next 4 or 5 days, so important to recover. Quick question for you, Nick. So did you see how Nicole Murray finished up there?
Yeah, I think Nicole, she did really well. I think it was the last 10 laps when that pressure started coming on. But being able to hold in that bunch with that elite bunch, she hasn't done any that type of racing at that speed. So I think, she should be pretty proud to hang in there as long as she did.
Help her kind of building in that top end as well?
Yeah, with Para Cycling, there is a scratch race at World Champs. But, being able to foot it with these girls, I would say she's, gave her great confidence and experience to be able to go to a World Champs and really compete in that scratch race.
Awesome. Great to see her in there. Congratulations, Nicole. So just looking at our results now, I've got Bryony Botha in first, Holly Edmonston in second, Ella Wiley in third, Penny Pawson in fourth. That was our leading group, followed behind by Emily Sherman, who drove that right to the end, Prue Fowler in sixth, Erin Downey in seventh, and Sammy Donnelly bringing it up in eighth. Strong rides from those top four, but also well done to those riders behind that really stuck it until the end. So that is all of our racing for this session. We resume a bit later on at 7 p.m. We have the men's elite 1,000 metre time trial, men's under 19 1,000 metre time trial, also the men's elite scratch race tonight as well. So that'll be kicking off from 7 on the Sky Sport Next YouTube channel. We're just waiting now for the medal presentations for that race.
for the 2022 Track National Championships Elite Women's Scratch Race will now take place. The medals will be presented by Erin Criglington, President of Cycling New Zealand Road and Track. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Auckland, Ella Wiley. In second place, and the winner of the silver medal, representing Mid-South Canterbury, Holly Edmondson. And in first place, and the winner of the gold medal, and the recipient of the national jersey for the 2022 Elite Women's Scratch Race National Champion, representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Briony Botha. Bryony also receives a New Zealand native plant kindly donated by Amber Garden Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2022 Track National Championships. Cool, Ella, congratulations on a bronze medal in the first race of the National Championships this year.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, a good end for the race for me. Yeah.
And Ella, you have been based in Cambridge for the last couple of weeks in a development camp. Talk a little bit about that and how that sort of led you into this campaign here.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I was invited to the camp and we had some really good sessions, a lot of TP focus, so that was really fun. Lots of effort, so yeah, some pretty hard days, but just really fulfilling. And then we chucked in some bunch stuff, getting ahead, ready for these nationals, and then yeah, obviously running in, it's done me well.
And a few more days left. What are your goals over the next couple of days?
Yeah, just to see what I can do. Yeah, legs are feeling good, feeling excited for the race. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, we're catching up with Holly. Congratulations. Podium for the first race of the championships.
Yes, thank you. No, I'm very stoked to get a medal in the first race alongside some two real good hitters. Yeah.
COVID restrictions, obviously no crowd here today, but we are joined by a fantastic live streaming audience. You've obviously got strong support back home in South Canterbury. Talk us through what that means to you.
Yeah, so my mum and dad are actually on the way up right now, so they'll probably be on the phone watching. And then my family and then mid-South Canterbury, obviously down south. And no, they're a real cool crew this year. We've got heaps of juniors racing, and I'm just glad to be still here representing them after 8 years around Waikato. So yeah, I'm real stoked.
And obviously had a good break after the Olympics, and a new addition to the family, I hear.
Yes, not a child, but sort of like a child. Little Winnie, a dog, a little border collie cross heading dog. So it's a new handful of what do you call it? Responsibility. So yeah, it's definitely brought its challenges.
Awesome, and so first day done and dusted for you, so we've got a couple more days left, so what's your focus for the rest of the championship?
Just to try and sit on Bryony, really. No, she's really good at the moment, and there's a whole bunch of other girls out there that are trying to like mix it up and make the racing hard, which is awesome to see. A few of us girls are out of it at the moment with COVID and injuries and surgeries and all that lot, so just trying to make it fun and aggressive and, yeah, but mainly fun, right?
Awesome, well, congratulations and good luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you so much.
All right, and congratulations, Brini. First gold medal of the championship.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I didn't honestly think that I would get a medal in the scratch race, but here we are.
We talked a little bit about the COVID challenges over the last couple of months, but we have some international racing that we are going to look forward to, hopefully, after this championship in Oceania Champs in Brisbane.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good. It'll be some of the first international racing that we've done in a while, probably since the Games, and for a lot of people, it'll be the first in a couple of years. So that's a track championships, which will be, pretty good, I think, getting to know where we are kind of sitting in the Oceania region, and yeah, it'll be good racing.
And you also had a little bit of some cross-training over after the Olympics. You did a bit of running. How keen were you to get back on the bike after that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that part after the Games, just getting to do whatever I wanted. It was nice just to be able to do something that I've never done before, and that was still keeping me fit for cycling, but just something completely different, working a different system in the legs and in the lungs, you know. I felt pretty excited to get back into riding, because after running I realised how hard that was, and just how much easier and how much fitter I was on the bike.
Awesome, and goals for the rest of this track championship?
Definitely targeting the individual pursuit. I did a reasonably good time recently, so hoping to go a little bit faster in that on Thursday and Friday.
Awesome, congratulations, and we'll see you on the track in the next couple of days.
Cool. Thanks so much.
You do the outro if you want. Do you want to do an outro? You're awesome. Oh, no,
Thank you all for tuning in to the second session of day one at Track National Championships here in Cambridge at the Grassroots Trust Velodrome. Looking ahead to this evening, we have the elite men's 1,000 metre time trial and the 1,000 metre time trial for the under-19 men's. Also the elite scratch race for the men's as well. That'll be 15 kilometres. Congratulations again to all medal winners. Thank you for tuning in. Coverage is brought to you by Sky Sport and the team from SBI Productions. See you again at 7 p.m.